part, we are going to learn all about functions in C. Functions are one of the most important parts of programming because they make our code reusable, clean, and easy to understand. So in this part, I will explain what functions are, how to declare, define, and call them, and also the types of functions, parameters, return values, void functions, and scope of variables. Okay, so let's dive in. A function in C is simply a block of code that performs a specific task. Instead of writing the same code multiple times, we can press it inside a function and just call it whenever we need it. So this helps to reduce repetition and make our program easier to manage. Okay, so in C we have two main types of functions. We have the library functions and the user-defined functions. The library functions, these ones are already written for us. For example, we have the printf function, okay, like this one that we have been using, the printf function, okay, this one. We also have the scanf functions, the scanf function, okay, that one, the scanf function, and we have many more functions. Okay, so these ones are standard. They come from the standard library. Okay, this one, the standard input output library. Okay, so another category, we have the user-defined functions, and these ones are the functions that we create ourselves to solve specific problems. Okay, so let us take a look at the syntax of a function. Okay, the syntax. So a function, let me first remove these ones in order to make my code look beautiful. So here, a function, we can have a function must have a return type. Okay, a return type. Okay, it must have a return type. So the return type of the this one is the type is the type of the value the function will return. For example, integer, float, or void. Okay, if nothing is returned. Okay, so for instance, we can have a void here. Okay, if nothing is going to be returned. Okay, so we have another one, and here after writing the return type, you need to provide the function name. Okay, so here you need to provide the name of the function. Okay, so another one you can provide, so you provide the you write the square, a pair of a pair of parentheses. Okay, and inside these brackets you can pass in parameters, and these ones are values we pass into the function to work with. Okay, so you can provide those values, or you can leave them out if you don't need them. Okay, so after there you need to provide the pair of curly brackets. Okay, and these ones inside there, these ones, it's where our code is going to reside. Okay, it's where our code resides. Okay, so let us take a look at an example here. Okay, so let me delete these ones. You have known how we can create a function. So here, as you can see here, we have declared a function, as you can see. So this one is called a function declaration. Okay, so as you can see here, the return type is int. Okay, for integer, and here we have the name, which is add, and here we have a pair of parentheses here, opposite parentheses, and here we have inside here we have parameters, two parameters. Okay, the first one is a, and it is integer, and we have the next one, which is b, and it is also an integer. Okay, so as you can see here, so this one is called the function declaration. Okay, so let us take a look at what we call initialization. Remember, I told you that we need to provide curly brackets. Okay, curly brackets. So this one is not going to generate any error. Okay, but this function is not going to perform any task if we call it. Okay, so these functions, you need to know that for the function to perform a specific task, we need to first call it. Okay, so for instance here we came here inside our main function. Okay, where our code, okay, runs. Okay, everything we want to run runs inside the main code, the main function. Okay, so as you can see here, we created a variable result that is an integer, and we call the add function. Okay, and this one is called a function call. Okay, this one is called a function call. Okay, this one, so this one was function declaration, and this one is a function call. Okay, so you need to note that down here I did what we call function definition. Okay, and here we define the function, what the function is going to be doing. Okay, and here it is going to return a plus b. Okay, so you should note that if I try to comment out all of this like that, okay, and I try to run this code here, let me save here, as you can see. So if I open my terminal down here and I try to compile, it is called home.c, my file, it is there, and I try to compile like that using gcc. Let me wait a little bit. Okay, my machine is somehow slow. Let me wait a little bit. Okay, so as you can see here, we have got a certain error. Okay, as you can see, but as our code compiled successfully, let us see. Let us first delete the executable that we have. Do we have an executable? We don't have. Okay, which means our code, we have generated an error. Okay, we have got an error. Okay, so let us try to remove these comments. Okay, so from this code here, let us remove these comments and we save. Okay, let us now see if we are going to generate an error. Let us use gcc to compile, press enter. As you can see, we have not generated an error, and if we press and if we type ls, or you can type dr to see to see the file in this current directory. As you can see, we have home.c, so it is there. Okay, so our code has compiled successfully, and if we try to run, so we are using PowerShell. That's why I'm using /home. Okay, so you can use the same if you are using Linux. Okay, so if I press enter, as you can see, we get sum equals 8. Okay, which is this output. Okay, which is this one. As you can see, this one. So we use the printer function, and then we provide this statement as sum, this string, as you can see. So here we are using a format specifier for integers, which is %d, and here the result. Okay, so we are printing out sum equals, then the result inside these quotes. Okay, as you can see. So this one is necessary. Okay, so you cannot declare a function without initializing it. Okay, without defining it. Okay, you need to define it. Okay, so you have seen that. Okay, you have seen that. So we can pass data into functions using parameters. Okay, so and this can happen in two main ways. Okay, we can pass by value. Okay, so a copy of a value is sent to the function. Okay, the original variable does not change. Okay, so let me show you something here. Let me show you an example here. If we have let me first comment this one, add, and even this one, and even that one, and even this one. Okay, I want to create a new function here. I want to give you another example so that you can follow when I'm coding. So here, let us create a function that is going to return nothing. Okay, change, let us call it change, and here let us give it parameter. It is going to be x, and from there we are going to define it. Okay, so here we are going to give it x to be equals to 10. Okay, so x is going to be equals to 10. Okay, so as you can see here, the original variable is not going to change, so this one is not going to change, this one, as you can see here. So let us try to change it here, and we see, say, let us provide x here, and we try to see if it will be that one that we have provided. Okay, so inside our main function, let us create int a is going to be equals to 5, and let us call the change, then let us provide a there, then from there let us use the printf. And what do we want to print? We want to print an integer, and then let us print our a like that. Okay, like that. So let us try to compile. Let me open my terminal, then I try to compile, then I try to run. As you can see, we get 5. Okay, so we get 5. So let us try to so we get 5, which is this one, which is a. Okay, so let us try to print if our inside this function. Okay, so when we run it, we want to print out our x. Okay, %d, then our x. We want to print out our x, and we see if it is 5 or it is 10. Okay, So after doing, let us try to compile and we'll run. As you can see, we get 10. Okay, we get 10. So you should note that we have forgot to break the line. Let us break the line like that. Let us save, and then we run. Let us try to run. As you can see, so here for x we print 10. Okay, so this one has not changed. Okay, this one has not changed, it has remained 10. Okay, because this one, if it was set, so let us first remove this one and I'll show you. So if I do that and then I try to compile here, then I run, as you can see we get 5. Okay, so this one makes x to be like constant. Okay, makes it to be we reinitialize it. Okay, we reinitialize it to be 10. Okay, instead of 5 that was provided. Okay, using this a. Okay, using a, which is 5. Okay, so that is it. So another way is by we can pass by reference. Okay, so we pass the memory address of the variable using pointers. Okay, so the original value can change. Okay, so for example here, so here we can have let us pass by address. So this is going to be the address to an integer like that. So here we are going to have our x. It is going to be the address. Okay, so let us give it like 10. Let us give it 10 like that. Okay, so after doing that we are going to print it out. Okay, but before we print it out, let us first do that, and then we come down here and then we get, so here instead of passing this one, let us pass in the memory address. Okay, let us pass in the memory address of a, then from there we can then save, and then we print out a. Let us print out a like that. Okay, so if we save and then we come here and then we do like that, so as you can see here we get 10. Okay, we get 10. Okay, but previously we got a 5. Okay, we got 5. So as you can see here we get if we try to print out a, this a, remember here we are not printing out anything. Okay, we are not printing out anything. Okay, we are not printing out anything, but here, right here, as you can see, we are printing out a. Okay, which means the original value has changed. Okay, which is a. The a has changed. Okay, it has changed to this new address, because to this new, okay, value, which is 10. Okay, as you can see here. Okay, so we have changed it. So let us try to print something here. Let us try to print also inside here. Let us print x, and we see if we try to compile and then we run, as you can see we still have 10. Okay, we still have 10. So this one gives us a consistency. Okay, so this one looks to be better, but yeah, it is good, but it is somehow tricky. Okay, you can fail to know what is going to be outputted. So here, as you can see, so let us now take a look at the scope of variables in functions. Okay, so variables in C can have different scopes. Okay, so for example, local variables, these ones are created inside a function. Okay, and they are only available in that function. Okay, so and we have global variables. Okay, and these ones are declared outside all functions. Okay, and they are variable throughout the program. Okay, so for instance here we can have a variable. Let us call it age, and let us give it age of 19 like that. Okay, so this one becomes a global variable. Okay, so we can use it inside any function. Okay, so let me first delete everything here like that. So this function, so let us try to print out something. We are printing an integer inside, then here let us print out the age. Okay, like that. So as you can see we can access it like that. So if we try to put semicolon, as you can see we have no error. Okay, so let us come here and then we try to call it. So this one takes no argument. Let us argument, so let us then provide a semicolon like that. So if we try to save and then we try to run, let's compile, as you can see we get 19. Okay, we get 19. So we are able to access this age which is outside which is outside the change function. Let us now take a look at whether we can access it inside the main function. Okay, so let us call, so we're getting age, format specifier for int, then we are getting age. So as you can see, we can also access it in our main function. Okay, we can also access it. So if we try to compile and run, we are going to get 19 and 19. Okay, so from there we can also let us remove this age and then from being a global variable, and then let us put it inside the change. Okay, paste there. As you can see here, the change can access the age variable. Okay, but inside the main, as you can see, we get an error. So here the identifier age is undefined, so we cannot access age, okay, which is inside the change function. Okay, so as you can see here. Okay, so global variables are declared, the local variables, these ones are inside the function. Okay, and they are only available to that function. Okay, in that function. Okay, you can only use it in that function. Okay, so that is it about function. Okay, we shall take a look at recursive in recursion, okay, or recursive functions, okay, later. Okay.